conditions and safety for many residents in the capital and beyond. Jonathan Pye, East London. Jesus, what a shithole. Welcome to Britain, where we spend millions on social housing. That's something I learnt this week. This country spends millions on social housing, not building social housing or making it safe, clean and habitable, but where we spend millions papering over poverty with flammable cladding. If that isn't a metaphor for what this government's ideology has done to our country, I don't know what is. Cladding over poverty so that posh people simply don't have to look at it. Not in any way improving poor people's lives, just ensuring that posh people don't have to look at shitty houses. Priority one, for an extra £2, you can make each section of cladding fireproof. What's the fucking point of that? Says it all, doesn't it? Cladding over poverty, a veneer of compassion, a dangerous, substandard, least amount of hassle possible facade to ensure the rich don't have to acknowledge the existence or realities of being poor. We don't need to make social housing better, we just need to make it look better, because then property prices in the area will increase, and that is good for our economy, which is good for everyone, but mainly good for people in nice houses. You can just imagine these fuckers, can't you? There's been a massive fire in Kensington. My God, is the Duchess all right? Don't worry, she's fine, although her cleaner's dead. But the Duchess is fine. I mean, cleaners are 2 a penny these days, aren't they? The Tories last year voted against a housing bill, right? This bill, it wasn't asking much. It wasn't attempting to turn Buckingham Palace into temporary housing for sex offenders. It was suggesting that private landlords have a legal obligation to ensure their properties are fit for human habitation. What sort of fucker votes against that? I wonder how many of the 70 Tory MPs who are also private landlords voted against that, including David Cameron. I'll give you a clue, it was all of them. This government is packed to the rafters with people who have no idea what it's like to struggle, to be only 1 or 2 paychecks away from being on the streets. It's packed to the rafters with ministers that see everything this government does as a business transaction, without a moment's thought for the impact their insidious austerity ideology has on the safety of the people who struggle to make ends meet. No moment's pause to consider the long-term damage done by their obsession with selling off public assets and making our public services the responsibility of private firms who by their very nature are there to make a profit over the well-being of the general public. The Tories' only social housing policy appears to be taxing poor people's unused bedrooms. Never occurred to them to increase taxes for Russian oligarchs buying their 5th uninhabited home. Well, much of our economy relies on Russian oligarchs and foreign property investors. Well, it's not much of a fucking economy then, is it? When it only works for wealthy property investors and not your most vulnerable citizens who are literally left to burn. Tim, I'm not blaming the government for this horrific disaster. You know, you're not going to find CCTV footage of Theresa May wandering round brandishing a box of Swan Vestas, right? But I'd be amazed if cuts and the ideology of austerity hasn't in some way contributed to this. Once again, it boils down to the divide between the haves and the have-nots. I presume the 370 million you're about to spend on Buckingham Palace includes a sprinkler system, right? Just asking. Yep. Well, I've been talking to residents here in the Wellsprings estate in East London about their experience of living in social housing in modern Britain.